Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Talk Daily. Today, we're going to be talking about a serious subject. And before I go any further, if you don't know who that is, that's Jeremy Clarkson. If you don't know who he is, Google it. He's basically a journalist, a British journalist, involved a lot in cars. He does a lot of things, but mainly he's very generally famous for the Top Gear series. He's he tend to be kind of a witty, unfiltered, very specific opinion individual. Like that's his kind of a style. I don't know the man personally, but I watch all of his Top Gear. I really do love him. I think genuinely he's very good at what he does when he was a Top Gear, and it's also the Grand Tour. I do like it. It's unfiltered, unbiased opinion. Somewhat is nice in this day and age where you can't really get direct opinion. Everybody gets offended. So he's one of those people who's still the old school. I want to say the old guard who would just say what's on their mind. It's almost like Grandpa in Thanksgiving dinner table. He's like, "Well, I think." It's like, Grandpa, you can't do that. It's kind of like Jeremy Clarkson. So, but that wittiness, that sharpness, that unfiltered behavior did get him in trouble previously. He got in trouble in 2015 with BBC. Supposedly he punched somebody on the BBC staff or the director or whatnot, and that's why the Top Gear show was over. And then they have a different cast, and that's when they did the Grand Tour at Amazon. So, and now another bombshell that strike Mr. Clarkson when he wrote an article for Variety where he describes, well, if you didn't know about it, he describes Markle, and he used a reference from the scene of Game of Thrones saying, made to parade naked through the street of every town in Britain while the crowd chant, shame, and throw lumps of excrement at her. Now, obviously, this statement is very harsh, somewhat humorous, but it's a dark humor. And I'll say right now, for a person of his position, that is not the smartest move to make. That is absolutely a mistake. Because while he might have a lot of supporters who think that way of her or him or whatever, it's not something that you really want to publish when you're making $1 million deals with companies like Amazon and your livelihood depends on them, and you have Instagram, and you're obviously a very famous figure. So I come to that dilemma of, you didn't know that? Like, you didn't know, you genuinely, Mr. Clarkson, you did not know that. So I don't know. Only he's no longer can say what you want to say anymore on any of those forms, because as we all know, and I mean by we, I mean hopefully, usually it's a younger crowd are aware of that. Everything is offensive. Everybody gets hurt. You can't say anything negative about anybody. And that is, if you want to be famous, if you are not famous, if you want to continue working with the multi-dollar companies, you cannot offend any segment of the population because you automatically get ousted. He didn't know that. I mean, I have a YouTube channel. It's so small. YouTube channel. I have how many followers? Like 2. I mean, trust me, I appreciate everybody who subscribe for me, and I thank you very much for everybody. But I don't have the same connection that he does as far as for board of trustees, and God knows how many people are relying on him to work and generate income. Can you imagine the Amazon meeting they had when they read that article? Like, half of them probably freaked out and said, "I don't want to be related to you." You didn't know that. So I leave it at that. I personally don't have any issues. I mean, because I have such a small channel, I can say whatever I want. Honestly, as long, even YouTube pays attention to what you're saying, right? So I saying I can say whatever I want. This is not a right, YouTube. Even that. This is a privilege, right? At any moment they could just remove this from me, right? So I'm aware of that. This is a private platform, not a public platform. So even though you have a freedom of speech, yeah, you just go out on the street and yell. You can, here you go, speak, talk to yourself outside. But when you're talking on these platforms, you better pay attention. So I don't know what he was doing, but I'll tell you my opinion because I'm such a small YouTube channel. And even though I'm not going to say something that got, in the future, I get famous. Not going to happen, but let's just say at some point, right? Can you imagine someone archiving my statement of what I think about these people and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and then, hey, look what he said back in 2023. There goes your career, right? So don't be stupid. Don't say things. Don't forget, these are private platforms that you're using. No longer are the days of I don't know what Jeremy Clarkson he was thinking. What is this, like the Blitz back in 1942, and you're gonna say your opinion? You can't do that anymore. Those days are gone. If I want to tell you my opinion about Prince and Meghan Markle, I would just say that the guy's a prince, and people are expecting a prince to behave a certain way because you have a title of a prince, and that's it. That's the end of that. That's it. I don't know. If you didn't have the title prince, then who cares? Prince, I don't know what a prince do. I don't. And that's it. Let it be. Leave it. Leave it. Don't get involved in it. Don't get involved in it. Okay, let them deal with their own life, whatnot. And that's why you want my support. You don't need my. They don't need my support whatsoever. So leave. Let them be whatever they want to be. Making that statement, he was obviously trying to make a statement regarding he felt very strong about her and what she did and whatnot and what she didn't do or whatever. But that statement made to parade naked, dude. That's the stuff you say to maybe to your at the dinner table with your family, when you're joking around or in public, like literally recorded and published. I feel so. You see a lot of those slip ups, and be careful out there. I think the moral of the story is be careful. Be careful. I mean, this guy writes amazing articles, but look, there you go. So be careful what you're saying. Everything gets recorded. I'm lucky because I'm kind of old and I grew up with the internet, like beginning of it and everything. Beginning, whatever. I'm kind of familiar. Uh, when the internet was free, when YouTube wasn't part of Google, you can watch anything on YouTube. Literally, I know those days, and I know that you can't do that anymore. Who you are is very important. All these companies, who you are, everything gets stored. I'm not saying being paranoid. There's nothing wrong with it. Just be aware of it. And this statement was made on Variety. So yeah, Variety obviously publishes things, and things gets published, it gets spread on social media. He's a very famous person with many, many followers, and again, so I don't know. Let me know if you understand what it is. What I like about my little channel is that you could probably put comments in it that otherwise you can't. And I'm not saying put hateful comments. That's not my point. My point is just uh, be respectful because again, this is not a private. You don't own no. We don't own these platforms that we're using right now to communicate and see each other and talk. So understand these are private, and those private platform, their revenue is ads, and there's a huge group of people who get might get offended or something you would say. And I find it crazy that I'm blabbing off for how long now? Jeez, I've been talking for 8 minutes. So if you didn't know this, now you know. Pay attention. This is not a free speech platform. None of them. I don't know anywhere you can go and you just speak your mind without repercussion. We feel very strongly about issues as far as homeless or gun controls or abortion or political positions, whatnot. We can't really express them. We feel them, but if you want to express, you only can express what others will deem to be not offensive. And he didn't know that. It kills me because I do like his shows. I really do. I don't know the man personally, as I said. Like I think he's just very witty. He comes up with a very sharp statement. It was interesting. The stereotypical of people. He did that like some of his shows. It kind of went like in comedy, but this wasn't comedy. This statement, unfortunately, I know exactly what episode what on the Game of Thrones party was making fun of. It didn't. That was way too harsh. It was way too harsh, and I am not surprised people reacted to it. And the fact that he went to call her directly, Clarkson calling Megan, I guess supposedly he apologized to them on the phone, whatnot. Um, I don't know. So wish everybody's the best. Hopefully, just people move on from this. But just let this be a lesson. You can't say what you want to say. You can go out on the street and just say it, but you can't do it on these platforms. So just be careful out there. Let this be a lesson to anybody out there. If you feel strongly about something, I don't know how this is gonna change. By the way, I don't know. Things are evolving. I don't know. But what I feel is we're becoming more and more molded into one world. and that one world is just gonna have one. Mm, you only can go in one direction, kind of Matrix, maybe. I don't know. I'm doing controversial theory. Anyway, no, but to be honest with you, just simply just be nice, okay? Don't be mean, okay? This is a very mean comment, and if you feel that way about somebody, uh, I guess I said you could share with your friends and your family, but to put it out there in the world to every Joe, John Doe, and whatever person out there, I don't. That's not a smart comment, especially for someone who have you know, for a living, he's a public figure. So, hopefully everything sorts out. Let me know what you think. You think this is not a big deal? You think this is whatever? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, just keep obviously your comments respectful, right? Learn from this. Maybe you one day become famous and someone finds that little quote that you wrote about somebody and it blows it out of proportion. So, always be aware of what you're putting there out there in social media. Anyway, as always, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.